Getting your first pistol squat is actually pretty easy when you use the following few exercises. So the first thing you need to realize is that you need to have a good amount of hip flexor mobility and strength to get into that bottom position of a pistol. In addition to that, you also need to have good hip mobility as well as ankle mobility, because when you are in this really deep bottom position, that's a very big demand on those muscles and joints. So all of these exercises are going to kind of target those in a regressed version so you can build down to that full pistol. Now the first thing you can do is simply sit in a top pistol hold and a bottom pistol hold. And what I mean by this is I would hold on to something, okay, so get something to hold on to, and you're simply gonna stick your foot out almost like you're gonna do a pistol, and then just do a simple quarter squat. And by doing this, you're strengthening the hip flexor in that other leg, as well as building just a little bit of isometric strength through your hips, ankles, knees on that leg that you're standing on, okay? Once you do this, you can then do the same thing, a hold position, but also go down all the way. So I'm trying to get the best way, there we go. So you'll hold on to something and then go down all the way. I'm still holding on to something, but I'm sticking that foot out, building basically all the strength that you would need to do a full pistol in that bottom position. So those two exercises combined, if you just do those a couple times a week, you'll probably already notice your pistol strength will improve with a lot more ease, but there are a few more ways to make it even easier. And the next way is by doing single leg box squats. So this one's gonna have a box or a bench behind you. You're going to stick one foot out, almost like you're, mimicking a pistol, and then you're gonna slowly go down back onto that box. Really try to keep that leg that's kicked out as straight as possible, and then push through that leg. This is going to build a lot of the same muscles and strength, but in a very regressed version, because you're not going nearly as far down. So your hips, knees, and ankles on the other side don't have to work as hard from a mobility standpoint, and that other hip flexor and that extended leg doesn't have to work as hard as well. In addition to that, we can also build off of that by sticking with the box and doing, I think these are called like skater squats. Skater squat? No, I don't know. It's a very regressed pistol version. It doesn't really matter what we call it. But what you're gonna do, holding on to something, you're gonna come up on top of a box, and then you're going to slowly lower yourself down as low as you can onto that box. Try to find that bottom position hold. And what this is doing, you'll notice my hips, knees, and ankles are basically in that bottom position for a pistol, but that side leg isn't really doing anything. And that's great because we don't really have to work the hip flexor strength in that other side. So this one's mainly gonna focus on building the hip, knee, and ankle strength in that leg that would normally be doing the work. So if you notice that that's kind of your limiting factor, this would be a really good one to build that position. Once you've done that, you can then move into actual regressed versions of the pistol. So those are kind of variations, but these will mimic them the most. The first one, and the one that I did once I started getting the hang of this, is by simply just holding on to something. I've already kind of shown this in the video, but literally by holding on to this, it will take all the balance out of the pistol movement. And there is a large amount of balance in this that people don't realize. So this is mainly just focusing on working the muscles in that range of motion. So same thing, you're going to keep equal pressure through that foot, stick that opposite foot out, get in that bottom position, and then drive through that leg. I would alternate and then do the other side after you do that while still holding on to the same thing, okay? That's kind of awkward for some people, so another way you can do this is with rings or attaching a band to hold on to above you, okay? I'm gonna demonstrate with rings, but it's no different than if you tie a band above you and just hold it up above. So holding onto those rings, we're going to sit back. We are keeping equal pressure through all of the portion of our foot. Sitting back, you can sit here as long as you like. And then basically you're just gonna pull up a little bit with your arms, tiny bit, just for a little bit of assistance, but then try to do most of the work with that leg, okay? And by doing this, you are going to build all of those positions in just a slightly regressed and easier version.